So now that Drake and Rihanna are even more official with the camouflage, shark tattoos and things, and et cetera, Drake being seen as the square, nice, you know how people make fun of Drake, sensitive type. Articles are coming out about how women should be with the nice guy.
Yeah, pay attention to the nice guy.
Pay attention to the nice guy. Laura Styles, you want to talk about your situation right now, or you want to wait?
No, I mean, I met a really nice guy recently.
What makes him a nice guy? Because that's what we're trying to figure out.
Well, he's super well-mannered. He, like, opens all of my doors.
Chivalrous.
I don't know. He's just super sweet. He's very thoughtful.
And you've been on how many dates with this man?
3.
And you're giving him all these accolades off the rip.
Yeah, so far.
So far.
I mean, listen.
And you think that's what a nice guy is?
Yeah.
All right.
He's super, yeah.
Any other woman in here want to chime in on what a nice guy is?
He's caring. He pays attention to detail.
Any other woman in here want to lie?
Right. Why? You know, Rosenberg has an issue. He says that the nice guy, that's not what women want.
They don't want that.
I'm sorry.
Marissa Mendez says they don't.
It depends on what you want. But, like, the nice guy is when you're really finally ready to settle down. Because
Exactly.
you can't really settle down with...
We know Marissa ain't ready to settle down.
Exactly.
She's the guy she likes.
I'm not there for the nice guy yet.
Ebro, I spent a lot of time as a nice guy.
You've been a nice guy your whole life.
Never
always
did
wanted
anything
a relationship.
for me. It never did anything for me.
But you're married now. You're successful.
Well, listen, I always pulled really high-level girls eventually after work and work and work. But it never did anything for me, like in a setting where, like, we walk into a party and everyone's meeting women. I never did well in that setting. It would be the sort of standoffish, not that nice. No, maybe with other reasons for it, they were better looking. Who knows? I'm just saying it never worked out in my favor at all.
All right, so we want to take calls from when we want to see, A, do you want the nice guy? And B, what is a nice guy? Maddie in New Jersey, you're conflicted.
Yes.
You are conflicted, huh?
I don't want to say that I'm conflicted, but yeah, kind of in a way.
Well, it sounds like you can't
That
make
was
up your mind,
profound.
period.
What happened?
I said, it sounds like you can't make up your mind, period.
It's not even that. It's all right. So I meet guys, and they're nice at first, but then I don't know what happens. Like, I'm not a pushy person. I'm not one that's on top of people. I'm not calling you every 5 seconds of the day. I don't need to know everything that you're doing.
But let me ask Maddie, let me ask you
This is a
this.
different
So they're nice at first, because what I'm trying to figure out is what is a nice guy. I think to me, that's relative, right? You could be accustomed to growing up in a neighborhood with a bunch of dirt bags everywhere. So your perception of what a nice guy is just somebody who's got it a little bit more together than the dudes that are constantly standing outside the corner bodega hollering and screaming and doing nothing with their lives. A nice guy to you might just be somebody who got a job and knows how to say thank you and no thank you. But is that a nice guy to you?
No, I've grown up, so I'm 27 now, so things are different.
So what's a nice guy to you?
Well, a nice guy for me, he has to be attentive. He has to be, he has to go well out his way. I want him to do things because he wants to, not because he feels like that's what you should do in a relationship.
See, but
You gotta be a sucker. You gotta be a sucker.
Well, but Johnny, hold on, guys.
Doesn't mean
Here's
being a
where the
sucker.
discrepancy
And
is.
see, this is why. That to me doesn't sound like a nice person. That sounds like somebody who wants to work hard because they really like you. That's different.
But what
You see what I'm saying? That's different than a nice guy.
But what I'm saying is women have a tendency to go after the guy who doesn't put in that work. The guy who's giving them less is who they go for. They don't want the guy who's like, hey, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? What can I do for you? Right. Loser, leave me alone. They want a guy who they have to chase. I get it.
So am I wrong in saying that doesn't sound like that's a nice guy? That just sounds like a guy who really
It could
wants
be
you?
a nice guy, but not necessarily a nice guy.
Stacy from Yonkers.
Yes.
You want a nice guy. You've had trouble with bad guys. What is a nice guy to you?
Well, I actually married a nice guy.
Okay.
From dealing with so many bad guys.
So what is a nice guy? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
A nice guy is somebody who respects you, who worries about what you want and not just themselves. Someone who has the same respect, like even respect. I ended up having kids with somebody who had no respect for me. And I got a good guy who took on 3 kids.
Yes.
That's not his. This guy didn't even want kids, and he ended up taking on my 3. And I have a lot of respect for him. He's a great guy.
Okay, I like this. Thank you for your call. Megan in Brooklyn.
Hey,
You say nice guys are corny, no swag.
let me be specific. Not all nice guys, because you know I'm about to have a lot of guys in their bag. So some nice guys are, well, majority of nice guys are corny.
And so you don't want that.
No, I need a guy to have some type of swag. Like, you have to have some type of edge.
So
She's being
so let me.
honest.
She's being honest.
You're being
right,
honest. So let me. When you say nice, what does that mean to you? Because that's what I'm trying to understand. Because I don't think there's a.
You know, the guy that's just sweet. He's a gentleman. He's always, like, you know, checking on you, make sure that you're okay. Like, a guy that could be your best friend.
But you want the guy that you're dating to not check on you and not worry about how you're
I'm
doing.
not saying that. I'm saying, like, I wish I could, like, mesh a bad guy and a good guy together.
Got it. So you haven't met. You just haven't met a. You haven't met a considerate,
all.
thoughtful guy who also has an edge.
Yes, like, you have to let me know why I want to have sex with you, not why we should be good friends and go to the movies.
You know what? I hear her. I hear her.
Now I kind of understand what you're saying. Thanks for being
understand what
honest,
she's
Megan.
saying.
I understand what she's saying, and I think what it is, and guys, and I'll be honest, it is tough to balance being, you know, considerate and nice, as well as, you know, grabbing somebody by their hair, pulling it a little bit, smacking them on the ass, and telling them to get naked.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be a special.
Yeah,
individual.
and women
It
want
takes a
that
long time
too.
to get that balance, though.
Yeah, but
Right,
women want
for
that
sure.
too. But you don't want somebody who's
You don't want it too
disrespectful,
early. You don't.
yeah,
You know, with women, you
relax.
got to do it at the right time.
I wish I was single. No offense to my wife. I wish I was single right now because I finally learned. And with technology, here's what you have: you can have a persona over text that is like really aggressive and sort of curt and different.
Yeah.
And then in person, you're actually a gentleman all the time, but you plant the seed over text message of what you're capable of. See, this is the problem, Shawnee. We didn't have that.
didn't have
I had to
that.
just rely on who I was in person, which is a soft little bitch. And that doesn't do anything for anyone.
Tasha in Newark, you don't want a nice guy.
No, I don't want no nice guy. Nice guy gonna be too nice. Like, I need a little roughness in my life. Who wants somebody that's gonna say yes to you? Sometimes you gotta say no to me.
So that's your perception of a.
I'll never
but-
understand.
But your perception of a nice guy is someone who is a yes man,
pushover.
and is a pushover.
And
See-
just does whatever I say. Like, I don't need that.
See, I don't necessarily
Yeah, but
think
I
that
don't
that's
think-
technically a nice guy. I think
No.
I think a nice guy, from what I'm hearing from the
For
women,
her.
and this will help Tasha. Tasha, how old are you?
I'm 24.
So you're early. You're learning. What I've learned from the callers before you, and thanks for your call, is that a nice guy is someone who is considerate, thoughtful,
Yes.
respectful, right?
yes.
Thinks of you, but isn't necessarily
A pushover.
A punk.
a punk.
Sure.
Oh, okay. See, I'm thinking, say when you said nice guy, I'm like, okay, yeah, you're a nice guy, you're punk, you think.
Nah, I don't think that's it.
Yeah, being nice doesn't necessarily mean you're a punk, though.
I think that, and
mean
that's
that.
this
No,
is
not
good
a punk.
learning. This is good learning.
It is
Because
good
back to the Drake and Rihanna conversation, do
Safe.
we think that Drake being the nice guy is also a punk when it comes to Rihanna?
When it comes to Rihanna, I think here's the funny part. When Drake deals with these random little Instagram chicks and strippers, I think he's the bad boy. When he deals with Rihanna, I think he's kind of a punk. That's just my observation from the outside.
I could see that.
You know,
yeah.
and because that's what men do. We treat the ones we don't really want the way the ones we want to be treated.
Facts.
Right.
Just like the reason
right.
your wife wants you to treat her like, quote unquote, a slut. Your wife wants you to be like, yo, look at me like,
Yeah, but you're like, no,
no,
but
you're my
wife.
queen.
You're my
Right.
queen.
And they're
You
like,
want
shut up,
that-
you little bitch. Act like a man like you do with these Instagram thoughts.